This video I'm recording to quickly wrap up what I'm working on. Let me see, I hope my speakers are okay. I have a lot of noise in the background. So what I'm working on is microfrequency therapy, and so I think that my friend was sending some comment. So I'm going to tell you something. I think my teacher opened up another possibility for me. Swami Srinityananda Paramashivam. I'm so grateful to be, like how he says he's catching me from his energy body. And seriously, I would like to know exactly which layer he connects with me, because I think it is in a Divya Sarira level, and he can manipulate, or I shouldn't say, he can feel me like how I feel him. So I wanted to know what layer it is. Hopefully, it'll give me answers. But anyway, so thank you, Swamiji, because um, I think that that's a depth I have never explored before, and and I hope all the words I say is in harmony with cosmos. So one of the things I came across, I like chronologically lay out how this all opened up. So the first thing was I came across a software called eVox, and the eVox cost like around $13,000. So I asked them what is special about eVox, and the guy said when it was released, I think it was like probably 10 years ago, I forgot. And he says it's perception reframing. That's the word they used. That is what we perceive as our reality. If we reframe it emotionally, so it's like again Siddha Lakshmi layer, and he says our behavior changes. So that's like my whole focus, limbic system, which is Mahalakshmi herself. And this year I'm working with Samraja Lakshmi, because um, that's why it fascinates me because Swamiji did it because I wanted it. Because I remember we did the Paramashiva Home on January 7th. Interestingly, I didn't realize all this. But when Swamiji was doing a visual darshan with us, it was I forgot like what it was, but uh, it was a session we had in between, and Swamiji was watching us, and I was in my bunk bed, and the top is all white bars, and it just like fascinates me. So January 7th is when I wrote my goals and stuff, and I asked, and I could only come up with 6 goals. I couldn't do 7 to 11. And Swamiji said it's granted already. My 6 goals are very simple. The first one is to materialize what my family wants, materialize what Swamiji wants, do podcasts with all my knowledge, keep life simple, and advance in clairvoyance, pay off my debts in that order. Okay. And Swamiji said, when Swamiji said all 6 is granted, and I said, Swamiji, 7 to 11 is for you. Can you tell me what exactly you want of me? And he says he will meditate and get back to me. And that's when I think January 12th he released the idea of Samaraja Lakshmi. Unless he did it before, I don't know. And I was hooked. Oh my God. Anything to do with my mom, I'll come running. So Samraja Lakshmi like swept me off my feet, and I really love it. So that is the spiritual part. So now let's wrap up for the eVox. So when it was perception reframing, I asked that guy, who is your best competitor? And he says there is really no competition, but if you want the knowledge to go through, Shari Edwards. So I actually worked with her, and I became a vocal profiler and bioacoustic research associates, and I became a professional in voice mapping because of her vocal profiling and stuff. And she has a free software called Vocal Profiling 101. And then she does like advanced Genesis and stuff. She's faith-based, Christian-based. And because mine is Sanatana Dharma, which is like, Shaivite, like, Shiva, which is the ultimate source of knowledge. I don't want to use the word Hindu because Hindu is a British coined word which means a civilization that lived near Indus. But I think we are all Kailasavasi, right? Like Shiva's abode is in Kailasa. So I think I am a Kailasavasi, which we don't have boundaries. We don't have, we have a space, but not a place. So that's fine by me, So essentially, we are all airheads. But anyway, so what was fascinating? Oh, everything I come across is fascinating. So I wrote a book which took me total, probably I would say like at least 16 or plus years. And then all the knowledge so far for 30 years of my medical practice, I was able to put it into use. Plus, I had a patient who had optic neuropathy, and I shouldn't say my patient, it was my colleague's or acquaintance father. And so she wanted me to help him with this optic neuropathy because she said, I do microfrequency therapies. Anything people want, I can manifest because I have the knowledge, but I really have to do it in a way that makes sense. And so microfrequency I have been working on for a very long time. I would say at least seriously like maybe 20 years, 21 years. I forgot. I cannot like really pinpoint like when I started. But everything is energy. Everything is energy. Like because the tip of the finger we can transmit our knowledge, which is 13 hertz we can put in. And that is human energy, earth energy. Shiva apparently is 11 hertz, right? Like because when you look at Shiva's, he has all the numbers mapped, like odd numbers 1 to 33, because 33 crores of vibration exists in our body. So he does with each one in Chamakam mathematical healing, and then he starts from number 4 until 48, and he skips like every 4, 8, 12, 16. So he heals those spaces as well, and everything has a meaning mathematically, and I haven't understood it. But anyway, so I'm writing up my protocol. So let me get back to optic neuropathy. So I was testing this guy first on Zyto. The remedy it gave him was the first thing it said he needs to reset rosemary, which is sesquiterpene and THCA. So when I went in, and rosemary is immunity builder, so that it kind of makes sense because he probably has some sort of immunity issue. And then the second one was to create energy in the cellular level, which is THCA, because for cancer patients we recommend THCA. So I'm going to tell you guys. So in the machine, I did it microcurrent therapy, and we did a 4-minute session, total 3, and immediately his vision improved. And then I have another little box. This machine is $5,000, and so I have a little box which is like $100, I think. No, it might be more expensive than that. Probably $200. I don't know. That's a wholesale rate. But if people have to buy, and it has to be a prescription, you have to write it in a prescription form. And if I have to sell it, the minimum I need to charge, because I have to buy like in bulk to get that price, thousands of units. So if I have to do it retail, the minimum which they sell called CS, cranial electrostimulation units. CS units run between uh, $400 to $600. So this is like the minimum I have to charge. The wholesale rate, because it's a prescription, I'm not allowed to sell. It's only to be leased by the patient, put back, so I can rewrite their program. So it has only 3 settings. So the frequency for sesquiterpene, if you need to understand, all terpenes has only 2 atoms, carbon of 5, hydrogen of 8. So let's say it's a very complicated terpenes. You will multiply carbon times that number. So let's say, like, it's a monoterpene. So monoterpenes have 2 carbons. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 10, 26. That's the atomic weight you would use. So 26 would be the hertz you will put into the body. So that's kind of like how you do for terpenes. And for THCA, when I calculated, it was 19.65. Okay, you could see that, right? So it falls. So now let's go back. It's like a little complicated math, I'm telling you. So 19.75 sits between D sharp and E, if you see. And now, to understand that further, I have to give you guys another chart. Oh, I hope I brought it over. So D sharp and E is, one is emotional integration and one is self-love. Okay, self-critical self-love. So it was very interesting. So when I did the same setting in my microcurrency unit, current unit, which is home takeover unit, I used the professional unit. I used 4 probes, and I put in cycles because the tissue for retina is 95 hertz, and then the blood supply, lymphatic, capillary, microcapillaries beats at 40, and then we did like 280. And Dr. Conrad gave some frequencies, so I forgot like which one is what, like 280. I wonder whether it's for cornea. Like, so he gave me like 5 cycles I can go through. And so the protocol had like 5 different tissues it was addressing. But the channel 2 was the tissue for retina, which is 95 hertz. So we had to reset it, and he responded very, very good. And then when I did the microcurrent unit I had over the counter, it had only 3 settings. And one setting is similar to Suboxone, which is like stimulating. One is like methadone sedating, and one is like gabapentin, like biomemory. So let's say, like, if I have to say it in Swamiji's word, the biomemory part is in the middle, and the bioenergy part is in the left, and then the muscle memory part is in the right. So the patient did not like muscle memory, okay, which is very interesting, because they, like how it says here, non-physical emotional processing. So he actually had issues that would reset only via processing. Like, this is all the cool colors, and it's emotional reset, whereas the physical tissue and all, he was pretty good, so he didn't relate to it. So like I could like come back and say, okay, I could see like the correlation in my mind. What I'm teaching is so advanced. I think you guys need to at least study the 30 years of my program to even ask a question, in my opinion. So I think what I'm going to do is unravel it slowly. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what I'm working. So it's way over many people's head, but that's okay. For completion, I had to do it. And now for each one, right, we know exactly what is the issue. So since he has emotional issue for D sharp, right, information not to share easily with others, but whereas actually what he needs is cellular oxygenation, transport of minerals and oxygen to eyes and muscles. That's where his issue is. And he is best moist tissue, lungs, eyes, nose, bronchial tissue, diaphragm. So physically, I know exactly where he sits. And emotionally, it's self-approval issues, and first to convey uses words to convey messages of meaning and appreciation. So these are like from Akashic record, like how Shari Edwards teaches. But I also work with consciousness goddess. Her name is Varahi. She gave me her. She opened her portal in 2014. She came to me first. Shari came in 2015, second year. So I honor Varahi always, and she is my energy mother who guides me. Plus Lakshmi is my another energy mother, or other, like they are all Angade with us, right? So they all guide me. So to come back. So when I tested him, he was very particular that he wanted only the biomemory part. That again makes sense, right? Because it's the mother, like the nurturing part is what he was looking for. And so I used only two probes, and I didn't do moisturization like I did for the expensive unit, and he could tell the difference. But he said instead of doing 12 minutes, I had to do it for, I wonder whether it's 20, 25 minutes I did. And he says after 10 minutes he felt it. But I also didn't do the same way. The conduction I deferred, and I did only two probes. And I could see that also works. So I'm going to tweak it. So that's all I'm going to say. And I love, 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 love this new portal Swamiji opened for me. And these are all I have already done. And when I finished this, let me tell you, I felt I crossed over. I felt when I finished sharing words this, I felt seriously when I saw an energy, it was like I have not visited Vedidi that time, but energetically I could see I was near the banyan tree, and I crossed over to Nityananda University where they were making sculptures and becoming a deity, or rather carving my own deity. That kind of vision I got, and I felt my mom was running around in the Nityananda University, or rather where the sculptures are made. And my friend, actually, I'm going to tag her afterwards. Her name is Christina Lawton. She's in North Carolina, because I mix up with North or South Carolina, North Carolina. And she said, in energy, I saw her. She pointed me to my mother. She says, "Hey, your mom is right there. Look." And I didn't understand the significance, and still I don't. But Mahayogananda said when we did the Kailasa trip, all of us showed up as deity there. So it is me I was working on then. It is so amazing. So this is another completion. And Swamiji, I'm so, so, so grateful, because without you, I would have never fathomed. See, my jingle. I love this new jewelry I made, and I love it. I think you opened up a portal for me, which I never even knew existed. But to unravel this, it's going to take me a long time. Seriously, I don't have anybody I can teach it to, because nobody's yet ready. And I hope the Gurukul kids, some will be ready. So I'm going to post it. I'm so, 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 so grateful to Manji. And I will say, in completion, I come to you, and I'm going to do Annapurna prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Annapurne Mama Vilasitam Annamdehi Swaha. The Swamiji himself is Annapurna for me and my mother. I'm going to thank her. Om Namo Bhagavate Samrajadaye Paramalakshmiye Swaha. Thank you, Mom.